Game changer here in the fifth. It puts the Guardians in front 2-1.
Salvador Perez will step in.
In the air, left center. That's hit a ton. Lane Thomas is there. Book it.
Clase gets it done again, and the Guardians take this crucial opening game of the three-game series here in Kansas City.
Royals dropped to 4.5 back in the Central. Royals have lost 6 in a row. That's a season-high losing streak.
The Guardians winners by a final score of 4-2.
How did you evaluate Walker today?
Yeah, he threw the ball really well. He gave up the cutter, for a home run to Thomas, and threw the ball well, kept him off balance, but the one swing got him.
Gavin Williams, what made him such a difficult challenge?
Yeah, he throws 98 miles an hour. He's throwing a curveball behind the count, cutter slider behind in the count, and then he's throwing strike the ball, curveballs. He had it going today, and he's really tough.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Tuesday, already September 3rd, 2024. Stephen St. John here. Nate Bukaty is going to be with us until 8 o'clock. We have Jake Gutierrez. We're going to talk to Kansas head football coach Lance Leipold at 6:30. Then we'll hear from former Royals reliever Jamie Bluma. Former Chiefs wide receiver Mark Bowrichter will help us preview Chiefs-Ravens on Thursday night out at Arrowhead Stadium to open the season. Annie Rogers will tell us the tale of when the Royals used to win games. Annie Rogers from MLB.com at 8:30, and then Jeff Chadilla from NFL Network and NFL.com in studio in the 9 o'clock hour. It's game week. It's football week. The Chiefs will begin their season the day after tomorrow. And so that is, we are here. We are here. But it's kind of sad, man, because not only is our full attention on baseball kind of wrapping up now because we'll be focused more, to be honest, we will, on the Chiefs and college football. But, man, now I don't even know if the Royals are going to make the playoffs. I think they are. I think they're going to still hold on to a wild card spot, but they haven't won in a week. It is, and look, losing Vinny Pasquantino, terrible. When we talked about that on the air, when that news came out at 9:30, and I got a text message from our friends over at the Royals, and we let you know that Vinny Pasquantino had a broken thumb. That was an absolute gut punch, no doubt about that. And the fact that the Royals' best reliever Lucas Herseg was injured on the same play, and then that led to the Royals ultimately losing the game, triple gut punch. But it was just one game. It didn't look like Herseg was going to be out for the year or anything like that. But Vinny Pasquantino, broken thumb, was going to be tough to overcome. And it's bad luck. It's baseball. It's whatever you want to call it. And look, Vinny's a damn fine hitter. And he's been one of the best run producers in baseball. We told you going into that game where he got hurt, the only guy that had driven in more runs since the All-Star break in Major League Baseball is Aaron Judge. Going into that game that Vinny got hurt, Aaron Judge had 38 ribbies since the All-Star break, and Vinny had 35. And so, part of that, obviously, is the opportunity of having Bobby Wood Jr. on in front of you, but you got to deliver. Overall, Vinny Pasquantino had not had the season that we had anticipated. Driving in runs with ribbies, he was on his way to, maybe a top 5 season in Royals history as far as runs driven in. Number 1 being 144 by Mike Sweeney. Trivia for you out there. And so look, it's. And I was talking to Lebo yesterday as he harassed me from Arrowhead Stadium and wouldn't leave me alone on a holiday. He just described him as he's a heart and soul player. It's not just losing a regular. It's not just losing a starter. It's not just losing one of your top run producers. You know, it seems like he means more to that team, more to that clubhouse. So you knew it was going to be difficult. But all due respect to Vinny Pasquantino, his injury should not lead the Royals to a 6-game losing streak. And I know, the first game he was on the team when they lost at Cleveland. And the second injury came in game 2 of that streak. But they've scored, since he's been out of the lineup, they've scored two. Stop me if you heard this one before. They scored 2 runs every game now. And so it's did it take wind out of their sails? Sure it did. It damaged them. But you can't just explain it all away. Urseg, sure too, but Urseg has nothing to do with them scoring 2 runs a game. They're playing their worst baseball of the year at a time that they lost Vinny Pasquantino, and you can call it bad luck, you can call it horrible timing, and also they're going up against terrific competition. Buster Olney on Thursday told us, when I asked him, what are the Royals facing in Houston? What did he say? The toughest test of the year. The way Houston's playing right now. Worst time to go to Houston. They've got things figured out. And the Royals went to Houston and, just got their asses handed to them. Got swept in a 4-game series. And so then you come home and you have the opportunity to face Cleveland 3 times, Minnesota 3 times before you go back on the road to New York and Pittsburgh. And they lose again yesterday. Starting pitching isn't as good as it was, and that's somewhat to be expected. The bullpen is, we talked about it when he was pitching so well. Imagine if they didn't make that trade. Imagine what the bullpen would be without Ursig. Well, you don't have to imagine anymore. Go look at it. It's not good enough. And the offense isn't good enough either. Can they turn around and win games? Sure. I mean, after Cleveland, Minnesota, New York, it lightens up a little bit. Pittsburgh. Detroit is not an easy opponent right now. And then San Francisco at Washington and at Atlanta. But where are the Royals going to be at that point? I don't know. I have no idea. They've lost 6 in a row. It sucks because a week ago we were all excited about the possibility of chasing down Cleveland for the Central. That is slipping through their fingers. They are now 4.5 games out. Minnesota's jumped back. They had, a 2.5 game lead over Minnesota. Now Minnesota's a game ahead of them. And so now 4.5 games out of the Central with Minnesota a game ahead of you. You're in 3rd place. So let's focus back once again to the wild card, where they are 5 games behind Baltimore for the number 1 spot. So that doesn't seem likely. They're a game behind Minnesota for the number 2 wild card spot. They could do that. They could finish in 2nd. They can, I don't want to take away their chance to win the Central. They can win these next 2 games, and maybe Cleveland could fall apart. Who knows? But it's just not trending that way. And so the Royals right now have the 3rd wild card spot. Thankfully, the teams behind them are not winning. Thankfully, Boston has lost 3 in a row. Detroit was on fire, but they're coming off a loss. But they've thrust themselves back into contention. Boston's 4.5 behind the Royals. Detroit's 5, and then Seattle's 5.5. That's where I'll cut it off. Tampa's 7. That's too far back for me to talk about. And so you got 3 teams, and this is what we're down to talking about. Look, if it happens and they're able to make it interesting, and to me, interesting has got to be, at least 3 games out, 3 games or under out. It's doable. They're 4.5 out. Like I said, if they win these next 2 games, they're 2.5 out, and they still have the tiebreaker. Okay, so there's every reason to pay attention to these 2 games against Cleveland. They're hugely important, just like the next 3 games against Minnesota are. You win that series, and then you could find yourself back in second place within a reasonable distance behind Cleveland. But they got to turn around now. It's no more waiting. There's not enough games left. There's just it's got to happen now. What's happened has happened. They've lost 6 in a row. Okay, shovel dirt on it, bury it. It is what it is. But right now, as we speak, they still have a 4.5 game cushion for a playoff spot. Right now, they're still likely to make the playoffs. They better turn things around. But also, you have to remember, we're not just looking at the Royals. Some other team behind them also has to get hot. Detroit has gotten hot, but they were so far back that they got really, really hot, and now they're still 5 games back. That's a lot to make up. Although Detroit does have a 3-game series against the Royals, and the Royals better get their act together before that. But Boston's 4.5 back, Detroit's 5 back, Seattle's 5.5 back. Hunter Harvey still day-to-day. I don't know what to tell you. I might even be surprised if he pitches again this year because he's just not durable. So I don't know. I hope he comes back. Hunter Renfroe, they're hoping he gets back by the weekend. That'd be a nice addition to the lineup. And so you can cross your fingers for him. Vinny Pasquantino spoke to the media. You play that if you want, Jake. I said that to you. He said that in his mind, the season's not over, but, you got to think that. You got to believe that. He hasn't had surgery yet. I don't know what the timetable is, but it's, if he does play again, it's because somehow the Royals made it really deep into the postseason, and even then he might not play. But, that's what he's got to say. He's got to believe that. He said he doesn't blame Irsay. He said, Salvi kind of helped him do it because he was distraught after. I mean, just think how he might feel. He's in the middle of this magical season with the Royals and a freak play, and he breaks his thumb. And it's one of those things like we talked about when he was walking the field. He knew it. We all knew it. The way he was holding his arm, we knew it. We didn't want to say it. We didn't want to admit it. You knew it. Let's hear what Vinny had to say when he spoke with the media yesterday.
So I haven't had surgery yet. We tried on Friday. We came to, I had like a 8 a.m. flight out of Houston, went straight to the doctor's office, got scanned. There was just too much swelling in it, so you can't see it now. I've got it splinted, but the swelling's gone down quite a bit. I'm meeting with the surgeon later today, and hopefully if that meeting goes well, we're going to have it tomorrow. As far as timeline goes, I have my own timeline I'm thinking about. And in my mind, I'm going to stick to that. But, yeah, they said 6 to 8 weeks, so that's what they said. The important thing is the bone has to heal. Like, that is number one. The bone has to heal. But we are going to attack this thing as about as hard as you can attack something. The difference between last year and this year is, we are pushing right now. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen, whatever that needs to be. We're just going to continue to attack it, try to get it as strong as we can, and see what happens from there. But in my mind, my season's not over.
All right, so that was Vinny Pasquantino yesterday with the media. The Royals, I'll give credit to J.J. Piccolo and Scott Sharp and everybody else. They were as active as they possibly could be on the waiver wire and even making a minor league deal in time to get these guys they acquired eligible for the postseason roster. You've heard me since a month before the All-Star break declare my wish that the Royals acquired Tommy Pham. They did it finally. He's an upgrade at leadoff. but he's a complimentary player at this point in his career. And I know the people, well, he didn't do anything in St. Louis. Well, again, Paul DeJong didn't do anything in Chicago. What was Paul DeJong doing with the White Sox? You can't judge a trade based on what a guy's doing. And guess what? There's some funky times going on in St. Louis. People don't want to be in there. You heard Tommy Pham, didn't you? Thanking St. Louis for his request to be DFA'd out of there. I mean, the fans don't even want to go to the games. You got San Diego Padres broadcasters mocking the Cardinals and the best fans in baseball. That is blasphemous. Blasphemy from the Padres broadcast crew.
You're outraged
How dare
by that.
you? They're the best fans of baseball. You will not say those things on a broadcast. Tommy Pham will not ask to be released.
I'll be honest with you. I want to get this right out of the way. We are in St. Louis, Busch Stadium. This is not the Busch Stadium I am used to.
No.
Late August, early September. Usually it's packed. The Redbirds are in the race. It is a different vibe here.
Yep, it's shocking.
It is shocking.
Not used to this
Yeah.
ever.
Can you believe it? It's shocking. I'm used to something different here. And so, look, that wasn't a happy place to be. So I'm not going to judge Tommy Pham on what he did in St. Louis, just like I didn't judge Paul DeJong on what he did in Chicago. And he's been terrific with the Royals. And maybe you don't need Tommy Pham to be good for 3 months. You don't need him good. You need him to be good for about 3 weeks. Okay? They go out and make a minor league deal for 40-year-old Yuri Gurriel, who was putting up some nice numbers at AAA for Atlanta. You know, you add a veteran like that and put him at first base. Look, the trade deadline's over. You're limited on what you could do. Add Robbie Grossman, like they're trying. That's all he could do. He was lucky enough to be awarded 2 waiver claims on the same day and go out and finagle a deal for Gurriel, who's having a nice. Of course, he left with a tight hamstring. So welcome to the Royals. Welcome to Kansas City, Yuli. So I don't know. They've lost 6 in a row. They still got a shot, an excellent shot to make the playoffs. They have a great shot to make the playoffs. They have a 4.5 game cushion. Turn it around. Stop losing. That's it. I don't know. Pitch better, hit better, relieve better.
They can do it. They can do it.
Well, sure they can. Sure they can.
Cleveland looked like they were in a world of trouble just this time last week. They turned it around. The Royals can do the same thing.
Yeah. Yes. They can. You know, they don't have to catch anyone. Well, depending on what you're talking about. They have to catch teams in the Central, but if you're talking about the wild card, they don't have to catch anyone. Just hold them off.
Yeah.
And so it's got to be a combination because look, they've lost 6 in a row and they still have a 4.5 game lead over Boston.
Yeah.
Because Boston's lost 3 in a row. So the teams behind them have not been able to take full advantage of the Royals' 6-game losing streak. No, Detroit did thrust themselves back into contention, but then you do all that work, get on this hot stretch, like, okay, we're 5 out. Ugh. But still, they're at least in the conversation now. And you can look at it if Detroit, hey, we got a 3-game series against Kansas City. They're struggling. We got a shot here. So don't just look past them, you know. They're only a half game behind Boston. But the Royals can still get to the playoffs. And it would still be an unbelievable accomplishment to get to the playoffs. It just sucks the bad luck that they've had.
Yeah.
Now, but now that you got to get past that after a couple of games, and you still look. It wasn't. You should be able to overcome that.
Yeah.
Okay. The season isn't over with the broken thumb. It sucks, but the season ain't over, and you still have a quality starting rotation. You still have an MVP candidate. You still have the captain, El Capitan, and you still got a guy now in the outfield that'll whip someone's ass.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you this
right
time
of year.
I'm going to tell you this right now, Royals. Do not put him in your fantasy football league. If you're putting together a league and you're thinking, oh, hey, we need another owner. Hey, Tommy Pham, no. We like him. We like the fact that he's in the clubhouse now. We want him to be a part of the team. But but also don't let him find out about it. And don't be talking about, hey, drafts tonight after the game at 9:30 and then have him say, what? And No, Tommy Pham. Just say, Tommy Pham, the league is full. Tommy Pham.
Maybe you got somebody in your league that needs setting straight, though. Maybe the league is full. He'll set them straight.
Maybe the league is full, Nate.
Well, maybe.
Maybe the league is full.
I got it.
All right.
Just say maybe there's somebody in your league that you would like to have.
I don't think you want him fighting anyone in your league. Just that's all I'm telling you. Keep it that way. Keep him locked in on trying to
hit baseballs, not
right.
Other
put
draftees.
A chip on your shoulder. Keep him out of the fantasy football league, and everything will be good. We'll be so there. They can all do it, right? They can still make the playoffs. Come on.
Hey, yeah, they can do it. Resiliency's been their biggest, strength. They can do it.
Yeah,
they can turn it around.
It's part of their character.
Come on,
I mean, they don't even really have
Jake.
to turn it around. They just have to, like you said, hold them off. Just right the ship. Get back to baseline.
Starts with one win.
Get back to the baseline.
Hey, as Barry Odom once said, it's a turnaround.
That's right. It is a turnaround.
It's a turnaround.
It is a turnaround. This has been a turnaround this year.
Turn around, bright eyes. We'll be right back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
This is a turnaround. This is a turnaround program.
Welcome back to New Day with SSJ. Let's check in with Coach Lance Leipold for our weekly conversation. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm going to tell you this. When it happened, it was scary, but then we found out how incredibly tough this young lady is. And I'm looking at a tweet. It was after the game from Children's Mercy Park, as they were happy to report their social intern, Bella, was doing okay after getting hit on the sideline. And I know you went and checked on her, but she bounced out. She bounced up quicker than some players do after taking a hit like that. And so I'm not telling you anything to do, but I mean, I don't. She might. They said she's available September 13th if you need her. You might need to find a place for her in your program or on the support staff or something. That was tremendous toughness on that sideline hit that Bella showed.
Absolutely. That was not a soccer flop. That was not. That was a legit hit. And it was unfortunate. And I kind of got blocked from it from the sideline. But one of our sports staff members said that it was a pretty good hit. But thank goodness everything's all right. I hope she's doing well.
And that was, a lot of class by you going over and checking on her in the middle of the game. But you know what? We were all because when it happened, like, oh boy. But we were all glad to see her pop right back up and finish the game strong, just like your team did. So let's just start there. Just give us your overall thoughts on your team's performance to open the season against Lindenwood.
Well, overall, I was pleased. Games like that, people expect it's gonna just right away out of the gate just systematically take care of itself really quickly. And there's some things that occurred that, we had to fight through. We had 2 turnovers there early and, one, the replay system was out. It was not the stadium. It was the whole system, the iPads, everything went. There were some issues, even a couple other games cross country. And so, and we couldn't challenge what was shown on the scoreboard. So that made it tough because that was after a big gain and things like that. So we've got to clean up the turnover thing and that. But again, the Mello Dotson, as I just heard you play, interception, pick 6, kind of was the one that you get 2 back-to-back scores quickly and then you kind of take control there. So what I was really pleased about, though, was, I thought ran the ball well. We got a lot of guys in the game that played their first games for us. Some guys have been in the program for a couple of years, hadn't seen much playing time. So that part, I think, will pay dividends down the road. All in all, though, obviously we got a lot bigger test this week and having to go on the road, play a Big Ten opponent.
Coach, you mentioned the Mello Dotson pick 6 that we just heard, and one of the things that's really stood out to me about the team the last 2 years is you have some corners that make big plays, interceptions, pick 6s. I remember the big forced fumble that scoop and score that happened last year against BYU. And I mean, gosh, I'm thinking back to the Orange Bowl team that Kansas had that had guys like Aqib Talib and Chris Harris Jr., who went on to have incredible NFL careers. I can't imagine there have been 2 corners at KU since then that have been anywhere near that. And I'm just kind of, if you could take us through, how did you get guys like this into the program and I guess if maybe I can't even remember if you inherited them, so I apologize for that. But what's the development been like for those 2 corners and how important that is to have on a big time program?
Well, first of all, we do have 2 pretty talented big-time corners that have both. I would expect that are going to be on rosters next year and playing on Sundays. And the thing about it is, and we did inherit both of those guys. And Mello was in the program for a year, and Kobe was what they call was gray-shirted, where he was here, and then he had an injury his senior year, and they found a way to preserve the year of eligibility, even though he played then as a true freshman, that he enrolled in the January before we arrived. So both guys talented, kind of under the radar, underdeveloped a little bit because both were playing under 170 pounds, probably Kobe under 160 most of that our first season. And the part of it was that as talented as they were, the point of physical development and mental development about the game has been a process, and they've done it extremely well. And what you've really seen over the last 2 years is the guys that have played a lot of football over 3+ seasons, and they've seen a lot, and they can read and react really well. Kobe's one of the more competitive people I've ever been around in my life, and size doesn't matter to him as far as he's going in and throwing his body around and doing things, and it's great to see. And that big win down in Texas that first year, where those guys were instrumental in that, and again, to see players play as much as they have, and now they're veterans, and you can see them take advantage of those and reading things and seeing things, and we need them to be big time players for us.
Lance Leipold is our guest. Coach, you mentioned now you go on the road to take on Illinois. You beat them last year. This is year 5 for Brett Bielema in Illinois. Whenever you go on the road to a big school like Illinois, it's a challenge. But based on what you've seen so far in preparation, how different do they look compared to the Illinois team that you played last year?
Yeah, first of all, Stephen, it is a big challenge. A couple years back, we went to Duke, and, when you're playing other Power 4 conference schools, these are big matchups and probably have a lot more weight bearing than ever before with the expanded playoff, not just for us, but how people view the conferences and the matchups and strength of the conference from top to bottom and all those things. So it is an important game for many different reasons, but for us, of course, it's the next one on the schedule. And last year we were fortunate at home. It was a big game. It was on ESPN and all the things that we wanted it to be, and we got off to a great start. But just went through the full run-through copy again this weekend, and we left some opportunities on the table that we could have been a lot more efficient in the second half of that game. We had 2 turnovers really in the high red zone and settled for 2 field goals. So we're going to have to be better than that for 60 minutes in order to come out with a win. There, as you lose, you got a second. The quarterback is starting his second year there for them. They've made some adjustments in their offensive line. They moved some tackles in the guard. They went to the portal, and junior college recruiting brought in about 13, 14 players that are playing big roles for them. So I think there's going to be a big challenge for us. They had a very similar game against Eastern Illinois on Thursday night as well. A very lopsided win, got a chance to play a lot of people, keep people healthy. And I know they want to kind of have a better showing, and I know it's a big game on their calendar as well as for kind of redemption from last season.
Coach, I was reading that you know Coach Bielema pretty well, or at least you know him because of your time in Wisconsin at different schools, obviously. I'm curious, what is your relationship like with him? How well do you know him?
Well, I know Brett pretty well. I kind of shared yesterday in the press conference. I think I said a little bit of it last year as well. But so, Whitewater was about an hour away from Madison, and got a chance to know him that way. And he helped us out quite a bit. But more importantly, when I got the job at Buffalo, he reached out to me and offered me a chance to come down to Arkansas and learn a little bit about his program and how he, not X's and O's, but really running a program for 12 months and his thought basis. And he reached out to me 2 times while they were in bowl prep in December. And then finally, right before, actually, it was like 2 days before Christmas, I flew down there and saw him. So very grateful for him and his family. It's not like we talk a lot, but I think we have find mutual respect for him. But in that story alone, he did a lot personally for me and our staff as far as getting off to a good start in Buffalo.
Lance Leipold has been our guest. All right, Coach, just a final question for you. I know a lot of fans were excited once again to see Daniels back at quarterback and see him healthy. And look, it's a long season, but still that had to be, for everything that he's went through, and to get back to that point, to just get out there and play football, and hopefully stay healthy this season. I know that had to make you very happy, along with everyone else on the squad.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy for our team. I was happy for our fan base and everything, but most importantly, I was happy for Jalen Daniels because he's worked so hard and he stayed so positive, and he threw an interception early, but he right away brushed it right off. But to watch the long pass to Luke Graham, it was kind of like a flash from the past, and to see the excitement in him and the look on his face, I think was very rewarding. And as we know now, it's on to week 2, and he's excited about this opportunity to play against another quality opponent. But it's a big thing when it's different when he's on the field for us, and we got to make sure that stays the course.
All right, Coach, good luck against Illinois. You can hear the game right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. And hopefully we'll talk to you next week about a good win for the program.
Sounds great, guys. Have a great week. Thank you. Rock Chalk.
That is Lance Leipold, who joins us every Tuesday at 6:30. And we go right into it. Man, oh, man, look at these good games in the Big 12 next week. The expanded Big 12. Nate, I don't know if you saw this, but they added teams. And so you've got Friday night, BYU, SMU. Jake, as far as a gambler's eye, give me how many stars for these games? 1 through 5 stars. BYU at SMU.
3.5 stars.
Right. Arkansas at Oklahoma State.
That's a 4-star game.
Yeah. Kansas State at Tulane.
Kansas State, I think, opened up as a double-digit favor there.
Yeah.
That's a revenge game for K-State.
But that's a scary game. That's a team that Tulane's won double-digit wins the past couple of seasons,
game.
but they lost their coach, Willie Fritz, to Houston.
4 stars.
Okay. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's funny. That's a big...
Right, I know, right?
My first reaction was, now, which one of them is in the Big 12 now?
Right, no, exactly.
Baylor at Utah.
That's a good one.
Here's your 5-star game. Iowa State at Iowa.
Yeah.
Is that 5 stars?
That's 5 stars. Hawkeyes, a 3-point favorite, I believe.
Kansas at Illinois at 6 o'clock. Kansas favored by 6.
Lay them all.
You know the game that's going to be the most exciting and most interesting, my 5-star game. Hopefully it'll play out that way. I can't wait to watch Colorado at Nebraska.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
This kid that Nebraska's got,
Does Mahomes look alike?
Fashioned himself after Patrick Mahomes. You know what? I'll have it.
Embrace it.
Because he and Mahomes likes it.
Yeah, he retweeted it. He retweeted
But this kid
a touchdown
he
pass.
looks like him, and then watching some of the guy go,
It's a little odd. It's a little odd,
yeah,
though.
they're like, look like it.
My nephew claims that the
I'll
story
have
is
it.
he's had this haircut before he ever knew who Mahomes was.
What about the Oakleys
that's
and the
right.
gate? He's walking like them.
Yeah.
Nebraska, a 7.5-point favorite at home.
I think that'll be super interesting to watch.
It'll be a great game.
Like, I
Love it.
I don't know.
And that's
But
a historic rivalry. There's
there's
history.
a fan
It's
base
an old Big 8 game,
that's
right?
going to be
Big time.
so super pissed off after that, because Nebraska, this is the year we're going to turn around if they lose to Deion and Colorado. Like, oh God. Or if Colorado loses already just after they struggled with North Dakota State, Houston at Oklahoma. Oh my! You saw what happened in Houston in Game 1, didn't you?
No.
The Barry Odom UNLV defense absolutely shut them down and held them to 7 points.
Yeah.
UNLV, those are the 2 takeaways I had over the last couple of days. It's like, wow, UNLV's, but I don't know how, maybe Houston's terrible in their first year under Willie Fritz.
We'll see him against
But
KU
watch,
here in a little bit.
Wow, UNLV's defense looks fast and strong. That looked really good. But again, I don't know, Houston may be a 1-win team. Who knows? But UNLV went to Houston and Willie Fritz's debut and put it on them. And then the other thing is, I know you were mouthing off about Mizzou's schedule. I was watching that game last night. I'm like, okay, Boston College under Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
And then I look back and go, they won 7 games last year. They weren't terrible. This quarterback's good. Bill O'Brien, he kind of knows what he's doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
Huh.
At least I didn't make any promises about eating poop about,
Right.
that game.
But I'm like, Boston College at Mizzou. Is this the game I go to? I'm trying to find games that fit my schedule that will be reasonable. I don't think because of I can't have a conflict that day. But that's a game that all of a sudden became a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, Bill O'Brien is the coach there. I mean, they dominated Florida State last night, and also Florida State's 0-2. So,
yeah,
I guess they're going to get snubbed from the playoffs again this year.
You got Texas going to the Big House.
Jail?
No,
Oh.
Michigan.
Do you like that one?
I do.
Oh,
Why?
Longhorns a 7.5-point favorite.
Yeah,
they're not the Big 12 anymore.
Yeah, I didn't mention that they're not Big 12 school.
Right.
It's not Big 12. We're talking Big 12.
Well, Boston College is in.
No, but now I'm talking about Mizzou.
Well, then
Nobody
that's
cares about
SEC.
Texas here. No. See, you're wrong. I wasn't talking SEC. I was talking Mizzou.
Okay.
Mizzou's its own entity.
All right.
Okay,
Fair
Big
enough.
12, then Mizzou.
Try to stay focused
and
here,
then,
Jake.
you got to understand.
I've already lost.
Oh,
my
yeah,
focus
Texas
today.
and Michigan's a top 10 matchup.
Yeah.
Whose favor?
7.5-point favorite for the Longhorns on the road.
That's about right.
I think
they're going to put it on them.
I think they're going to put it on them too.
I think that's like a 10 to 14-point win.
Chadia's going to take it on the chin.
Whoa. Why don't you offer to bet him in the 9 o'clock hour?
Okay.
You think he'll do it? You
No.
think with the points?
No, he won't take 7.5.
Why?
I bet
It's
he
defending
thinks they'll
national-
win, but I think
it's
it'll
the
be
defending
about.
national champions.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
See that?
Your SEC Big 12 matchup with Mississippi State, Arizona State. No. I mean,
The Big 12 match.
I always thought Arizona State's going to represent the Big 12 for us.
Fork 'em.
Nope. We'll be right back after this on WHB. Stephen St. John here for my friends at WeatherTech. You never know what the Kansas City weather has in store for you. But I do know, and you know, that sometimes that weather could damage your roof, whether it's a business or it's a home. And so if you, and look, most of us, we got no business getting up there and trying to look at the roof. Okay? Even if you do get up there, you don't know what you're looking for. Maybe you do. I don't. And so what you need to do is call my friends at WeatherTech. And you give them a call, and they're going to come out and check things out, and they're going to let you know exactly what the situation is. They'll let you know, and the most important thing is they're not going to lie to you. They're going to tell you the truth. They're going to let you know exactly what the situation is, and if you need something repaired or if you need it to be replaced. Because that's what you want. You want someone to be honest with you. And WeatherTech Renovations, one quick call and one free inspection can protect your home or business. 816-988-8957. That's 816-988-8957. You can also check them out online at WTRenovations.com. And they have options for you like 0% financing on some of the roof or all of it, or 12 to 18 months to pay, so they can finance you. They can make it work with you at WeatherTech Renovations. 816-988-8957 or online at WTRenovations.com. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ. Jake, I'm watching Naoya Inoue, who was recognized by some as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, the undisputed junior featherweight champion, fighting right now live and beating the hell out of someone.
Live.
Yep. In Japan.
Nice.
Yeah. How about that, Jake?
That is absolutely.
They call
live.
him the Monster. So
Absolutely live.
It's a good picture.
It is a good picture.
Thanks. Nothing but the best.
Wow.
We know that.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. I'm not going to the Boston College game.
You got some schedule conflict?
Yes. And his name is Jaime Bluma.
Ah.
I've blocked off that whole day for
I
you.
appreciate that.
That's a 11:45 game, so I can watch it while I prep.
Perfect.
Because I'm gonna go check into the hotel at 3, and then I'm gonna be
Prep for the bus.
What time is the bus picking me up?
5 o'clock.
I'll be picked up by the bus at 5.
Do not miss the bus.
Well, I'm not. We're right there.
Right. I know. I checked out your hotel on the way by it the other day.
What do you mean you checked it out?
Just making sure.
Oh,
Get the lay of the
that
land.
it's there? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not walking.
Well, that's a little secret right there. A lot of
No,
people don't realize that.
That's right. I didn't know. Even
Are you
after
walking from the hotel
I
today?
doubt that. Depending on that, it might. I don't know. I doubt it. Probably no.
Maybe
No.
they have a shuttle.
Yeah, I doubt it. But anyway, and then the shuttle takes me back at 10.
Yeah, it'll
right?
leave down there at 10. Yeah.
And then I get back in my hotel and watch
In time for the
Canelo
Canelo fight.
Alvarez.
That's good.
Oh boy, what a night! I'll watch that. I'll be all fired up for that.
That's good. That's a full day for you.
Yeah. Mizzou, Boston College, prepping. That's what I'll be.
What time is that? 11 o'clock game.
11:45.
11:45.
Oh, it's all perfect. Go right, check in the hotel. Boom, bada bing, bada boom.
Perfect.
Got anything else left to do before the wedding?
Oh yeah, there's always little things, a couple little construction projects, just dotting I's and crossing T's, and making sure things that we need on site are going to get delivered. Yeah, little stuff.
You think the Royals will win again before your wedding?
Oh my God, man! Leaving here last Tuesday.
I'm sorry, that's not funny.
And then,
boom, go Boomy.
A week later, like,
Boomy.
what a completely different feeling,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm sorry.
I am too, man, because one of the things that we've talked about this entire season was being able, with the starting pitching that we have, to avoid long losing streaks, you know. And that's, I mean, starting pitching, we know, we've talked about it, covered it, running out of gas a little bit. Guys are in a lot of innings, but we haven't pitched terrible. And it's just been...
They scored 2 runs every game.
3 straight, I think, yeah. And I got to thinking about it yesterday when I was listening to the game and all the different moves that have been made, like with Vinny getting hurt on. I mean, what a freak play too. And I didn't see it live. I was following it on Game Tracker and listening to it on the radio, and couldn't quite figure out what happened until I did see the video. And I mean, that's just the difference a little bit in how Vinny plays first base versus how we were used to Eric Hosmer playing first base, you know, with the ability to come off the bag and make those plays that we saw Hos make all the time. And tough play. I mean, we talk about it, about not wanting to barehand the ball, and that ball probably is a double play ball if he doesn't even touch it. And that's, you can't, as a pitcher, you just try to knock the ball down and get a guy out. You know, it is what it is. And to have that happen and, you know, tweak his hand and then make a throw, and my God. But who would have thought with all that it would snowball into 5 more losses? And that's the thing. We've been able to avoid that, and then the offense just going super south. But what I got to thinking about last night or yesterday after the game was over, like, this is a different team, and this is kind of a different clubhouse. And even yesterday, I mean, Quintero had to go take care of some personal business, and he wasn't in the locker room, and Vinny being hurt, and then with Robbie Grossman and Tommy Pham, and now we got Yuli Gurriel. I mean, this is a little bit different clubhouse within a week of what we were talking about the week before. And I think some of the things that we loved about this team was how everybody was pulling for each other. Maybe earlier in the year we were, man, well, MJ's not hitting 200. Maybe send him down, but he's playing better defense and he's getting big hits.
It was out of necessity too, because those first 2 nights after Vinny got hurt and before they got the guys off waivers, those lineups were like, oh my God, you cannot put that lineup out there.
Right. We got to keep mix and matching and try to figure it out. I mean, we're still, thank God, and you said it as I was driving in, thank God the teams behind us have been playing like crap except for Detroit, because we still got a 4.5 lead in the wild card. So maybe winning the division is off the table unless we go on some sort of a streak. But, man, we just got to play well enough to get ourselves into the tournament.
Win now.
Start a win. Start there.
Leipold and I are laughing about Nate on text. Nate.
Now what did I do?
Laughing emojis.
I like it.
I don't know. Lance and I like to laugh about you. You're a fun topic for us.
I was excited to see Jalen Dye playing in that KU game. Jermaine's son.
Yeah.
Playing defense, getting a couple tackles.
Yeah.
Yes. Good stuff.
I'm having a blast right now.
That's
know
good.
That fight's over.
Oh, I know.
Is it over?
Some would say it never
you got
really
it on
started.
too?
Yeah.
I know. I'm watching it off the screen.
Oh, you got
No, he beat the hell out of him.
Was that a knockout?
They stopped. The ref
Stop the fight.
Tough guy from Australia was taking every shot. You could tell by he wasn't going to go on his own, and so the ref had to step in and say, "Hey, buddy,
there you go.
We're good." So
that'll do.
Yeah. We'll be right back after this on WHB.
Hey folks, Dave Bukaty here. I want to tell you about my buddies at Victory Ford at the Legends in KCK. I was just talking to my buddy Brian Pringle, who does a phenomenal job at that place, about the incentives that have been rolled over to last month, or from last month to now. So all the great incentives I told you about last month at Victory Ford, they're still going on. You can add on to the fact that the 2025 Explorer is here, and it's beautiful. And if you're looking to get the new one, it is a great time right now to stop by Victory Ford and check it out. New Mavericks are in stock. They've been very hard to get their hands on, and so they've got some of those at Victory Ford right now as well. And the 2024 electric Mach-E's have 0% financing for 72 months. That's just a little taste of some of the great deals you can get at Victory Ford right now. As I always tell you, it's easy to get to from anywhere in the city because it's right off 435 and I-70 at the Legends in KCK. I just had my car in for its regularly scheduled maintenance last week, and as always, customer service was top-notch. The experience was great. I was in and out, and my car's running fine and perfectly because I've gotten my last 2 cars at Victory Ford, and I think you should probably get yours there too. Just go by and see them at the Legends in KCK, or check out everything online at victoryfordkc.com.
new day with SSJ is presented by Walker Medical Linen Services, locally owned and operated. HLAC certified to the highest medical laundry standards.